Hi, welcome to another episode of the Competitive Excellence Series. Today I will be sharing with you my tips on how to improve your project from SCDC to ICDC. My name is Emma Foote and I am from DC Everest. I'm also the District 2 Ambassador and the Social Media Coordinator for my school. The first thing that you can do to improve your project is to improve your visuals. Visuals are crucial for keeping the judge's attention. Some finishing touches that you can add are pictures, charts, graphs, and logos. These will really make your project appear more professional and it will really attract the judge's attention. Having a theme also helps, and having a theme includes colors, fonts, font sizes, and shapes. Making your project appear more cohesive will always make it seem more professional and attract the judge's attention even more. The second step to improving your visuals is making sure the words go together. Bold and colored words really make them stand out. Another thing you want to remember, keep it short. You can always emphasize and explain more than what is written on your project. Using the judge's feedback can be extremely helpful in improving your project from SCDC to ICDC. Take into consideration any questions that the judge may have. This way you can build the answer into your project and the next judge won't have to ask the same questions. Also take into consideration any comments that the judge may have. This could be improvements or things that you did really well. The last thing is to take into consideration anything that they found really interesting. This way you can emphasize it if you choose and build more onto that topic. Your presentation is the main selling point of your project. This will attract the judge's attention and hopefully keep it. You can update your presentation by adding the impact that it left on the community, yourself, or people from your school. You can also update your presentation by making sure that it's in chronological order. The first step of this is your preparation. What did you have to do to make the event happen? The second part of this is the event itself. Did you have to go through any hardships to make the event happen? The third part is the follow-up, which could include that impact. The last part of this is key points. Highlight any key points that really made your event happen. Going back to the judge's feedback, these could also be things that the judge thought were really interesting about your project. To improve your speech, you need to practice, and more practice. If you don't have a script, I highly recommend making one. This will make sure your project is consistent. The second part of having a script is making sure that you memorize it as much as possible. The third part is timing yourself. This will be really easy to do if you have a script because it will be more consistent. The last thing is improve your impromptu speaking. You can do this with an app called Speako, and it's a really great way to improve your impromptu speaking, which will help you answer questions from the judge. Some projects have exams, and if yours does, you'll want to make sure you're prepared. The main thing that you can do to improve your test-taking skills is by taking practice tests. After you take a practice test, you'll want to make sure that you go back and review the questions that you got right and wrong, and then go back and really review the questions that you get wrong so that you can make sure that you're confident about it at the next test. One of these things includes vocab terms. If there are any ideas or vocab terms that you're unaware of or that you don't know, be sure to do some research and find out what they are. The last thing is exam questions. If there were any questions that really stumped you, you can always write those down after you take your test at state and improve those and use that as a study guide for the next test. If you're working with a partner, your team dynamic is super important to your success. When doing your project with a partner, you'll want to make sure that you guys are practicing together. This will not only improve your team dynamic, but it will also make sure that you guys are on the same page. This will make sure that it's more like the real situation so you guys are more comfortable and prepared. You'll also want to work on improvements together as a team. This will make sure that you're on the same page with what's changing in your project. The last thing is improve your bonding and relationship. This can be done over coffee, food, anything. Practicing together will also help improve your bonding. Now let's recap what we've just covered. The first thing is to improve your visuals by making them easier to look at and less distracting. The second thing is changing your presentation so that it makes more sense and catches the judge's attention. The third thing is to practice your speech and work on impromptu speaking. The last thing is using practice tests to be prepared. Using all of these tips will be sure that you take your project to the next level and win some deck of glass.